Today, we stand at the crossroads of uncertainty, where the future seems unclear and the road ahead appears to be filled with obstacles. Life as we know it has a way of throwing us off course, unforeseen challenges, unexpected losses, and moments of doubt. But let me remind you of one undeniable truth in times of uncertainty. We are called to trust God. Trusting God is not about knowing all the answers, nor is it about understanding every circumstance. It's about knowing that even when we can't see the way, He sees it all. Each of us here today is part of a divine blueprint, a greater plan that God has designed for us even before we were born. We are not here by accident. The challenges, the victories, the triumphs, and the losses, they are all a part of His purpose. God's hand is on your life, and even in the times of uncertainty, He is at work shaping, refining, and guiding you to your destiny. Today, I want to remind you that no matter where you find yourself today, you are in God's hands. You are not here by accident. Your life has a purpose, and God is walking with you, even when you can't see the path ahead. Trust Him, because He is faithful to complete the work He has started in you. First, we must recognize that our trials have purpose. When we face challenges, when the storms of life hit, it's easy to question, why me, God? Why this struggle? But understand that trials are not random. The Bible tells us in James 1:2-4, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. What does that mean? It means that every difficulty is an opportunity for growth. Every struggle, every setback is a tool in God's hands to refine you, to strengthen your faith, and to shape your character. Look at the life of Joseph. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, wrongfully imprisoned. Yet through all of it, God was at work, guiding him toward the purpose He had planned for his life. The very thing that seemed like destruction was actually God's way of positioning him for promotion. In your life, God is using your trials to prepare you for something greater. Trust Him in the midst of uncertainty, because what you see as a setback is simply God setting you up for something powerful. Secondly, we must understand that faith is the bridge between our doubt and God's power. It is easy to believe in God when everything is going well, but true faith is tested in the fire. Think about the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They stood firm in their faith, even in the face of certain death. They trusted God to deliver them from the fiery furnace, but even if He did not, they still trusted Him. That's the essence of faith. It's not about seeing everything work out according to our plans. It's about trusting God, even when we don't understand the outcome. Faith is not about avoiding challenges. It's about knowing that God is with you in the midst of them. Faith allows you to see beyond the present and trust in God's greater purpose for your life. Remember, trusting God is not the absence of fear or doubt. It's the decision to move forward despite them. You can trust God in the midst of your uncertainty, knowing that He is bigger than any challenge you face. In times of uncertainty, we must also trust God's perfect timing. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. How often do we find ourselves rushing ahead, trying to make things happen in our own time? How often do we try to force open doors that God has not yet opened? The truth is, God's timing is always perfect. I think about the story of David. Before he became king, he was anointed, but it was years before he took the throne. Those years were filled with trials, challenges, and uncertainty, but in the midst of them, David was being prepared. God was refining his heart, teaching him to trust in His plan, and positioning him for greatness. Sometimes we get frustrated when things don't happen on our timetable. We wonder why the breakthrough hasn't come yet, or why God seems silent. But I want to remind you today, God's delay is not His denial. When you trust in His timing, you will see that He is preparing you for something greater than you could have imagined. Perseverance is another key element in trusting God during times of uncertainty. The Apostle Paul tells us in Romans 5:3-4, not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Perseverance is the process that refines us. Think about gold. Gold doesn't become pure by just sitting there. It must go through the refining fire. The heat burns away the impurities, and what remains is the precious metal. Similarly, our faith is refined through the trials we face. When we persevere through hardship, we develop character, and that character strengthens our trust in God. When you find yourself in a difficult season, don't give up. Instead, hold on to God's promises. Trust in his faithfulness and know that he is refining you. Every challenge you face is producing something good in you, something that will equip you for the next chapter of your life. One of the most powerful truths we can hold on to in times of uncertainty is that God is always faithful. Reflect on the words of the psalmist, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." When life feels uncertain, when we don't know where the next step will take us, we can trust in God's faithfulness. He has been faithful to generations before us, and he will be faithful to us. Just as he was with the Israelites in the wilderness, leading them with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night, he will lead you through your uncertainty. God's faithfulness never fails, and he will never leave you nor forsake you. Finally, in uncertain times, we must live with intention and purpose. Understand that your life is not just a series of random events. You are part of a divine plan. God has called you to something greater, and you must live with purpose, trusting that he will guide your steps. Every moment, every encounter, every decision you make is part of his sovereign plan. When you trust God in times of uncertainty, you allow him to direct your path, and you begin to see the divine purpose unfolding in your life. God has a specific plan for each one of you, and when you trust him, you align yourself with that plan. Even in the unknown, you are walking in the fullness of his purpose for your life. As we close today, I want you to leave with this powerful truth etched in your heart. Trusting God in times of uncertainty is not just a decision, it is the very foundation of our peace, our hope, and our future. In a world that constantly shifts, where the ground beneath us seems unstable, trusting God gives us the firm foundation we need to stand tall. When life throws its challenges at you, know that God's sovereignty is greater, his plan is perfect, and his faithfulness is unwavering. We've learned that our trials, our struggles, and even our doubts are not in vain. They are part of a greater story, God's story. Every moment of uncertainty, every moment of fear is an opportunity to trust in the one who sees the end from the beginning. God is not only aware of your struggles, he is actively involved in shaping your destiny. Even when we can't see the road ahead, God is the one who already knows where it leads. His perfect timing is something we must hold on to, especially when we feel the weight of waiting. Remember that when God says not yet, it's not a denial, it's a preparation. His delays are not rejections, they are part of his process to refine us, strengthen us, and prepare us for what he has in store. In the waiting, he is working. In the waiting, he is perfecting that. Our faith, as we've seen, is the bridge between our current circumstances and God's eternal power. Faith is not just about believing in God when things go well, it is about believing in him when things seem impossible. It is in the moments of uncertainty that our faith is most tested, and our trust in God becomes the greatest testament to his glory. It is easy to say we trust God when everything is going as planned, but the true test comes when the storms hit. Like Peter stepping out of the boat into the stormy waters, trusting God in the unknown requires courage. But the good news is this: when you step out in faith, God meets you right where you are. He doesn't leave you to navigate the storm alone. He walks with you, holding you, guiding you, and giving you the strength to keep moving forward. In your life, you will face moments of doubt and uncertainty. But remember, those moments are opportunities for God to show you his power, his provision, and his love. You are part of a greater plan, a divine purpose that God is revealing every day, even in the moments that seem unclear. Trusting God means that we let go of the need to control the outcome and allow him to take charge. His ways are higher than ours, and his purpose is beyond what we can comprehend. When you trust God, You embrace the reality that you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know all the answers. What you need is faith in the one who holds the answers. God is not asking you to understand everything. He is asking you to trust that he understands everything. Trust that he has a plan for your life, and that plan is for your good. So I encourage you today, in the midst of uncertainty, to hold fast to your faith. Don't allow the noise of fear, doubt, and worry to drown out the voice of God. He is faithful, and he will not leave you or forsake you. Your future is secure in him, and with each step, he is drawing you closer to the purpose he has ordained for you. Trusting God isn't just about surviving the storms, it's about flourishing in them. It's about knowing that even in the most uncertain times, God is working behind the scenes, aligning things, shifting situations, and positioning you for greatness. He is not done with you. In closing, I want you to hold on to this truth. You are not walking through uncertainty alone. God is with you, and he is more than able to see you through. His promises are true, his plans are good, and his love is unshakable. Trust him. Lean into his purpose for your life, and know that in him there is always hope, always a way forward, and always a future filled with promise. Trust God in times of uncertainty, for he is your anchor, your strength, and your eternal hope. Keep moving forward with faith, because with God there is no uncertainty, only a future that is firmly in his hands. God bless you